Elegant people live differently, not because they're richer, not because they're better looking, but because they stopped reacting to things that are in ordinary people every single day. And honestly, once you notice these 7 things, you can't unsee them, because most people lose their peace over things elegant people wouldn't even respond to. Like seriously, some people wake up at 7 a.m. already stressed. Their day hasn't even started and somehow they're emotionally fighting 3 imaginary arguments, checking who viewed their story, stalking their ex, and preparing motivational quotes for problems they created themselves. Elegant people? Calm, relaxed, unbothered. Their blood pressure isn't doing Olympic gymnastics over nonsense. See, ordinary people react to everything. Someone unfollows them, emotional damage. Someone posts vacation pictures, sudden, why life is unfair. One dry text replied why any now they're investigating like FBI detectives solving a criminal conspiracy. Why did they say okay instead of okay, please rest? Elegant people understand something most people never learn. Not everything deserves your energy. Because energy is expensive now. Gas prices are high. Groceries are high. Peace of mind is luxuriously. Some people don't want solutions. They want drama with cinematic background music. Elegant people don't participate. They disappear quietly, drink water, moisturize, and mind their business like emotional billionaires. And let's be honest, the older you get, the more attractive peace becomes. Silence becomes luxury. Privacy becomes power. Avoiding unnecessary nonsense starts feeling better than winning arguments. Oh, in this video, we're breaking down the 7 things elegant people completely ignore, and why doing this changes everything. And before we start, like, share, and subscribe, because unlike toxic relationships, this channel actually improves your life. This is where most people destroy their dignity without even realizing it. The need to be liked by everybody. And honestly, that's exhausting. Some people spend their entire lives performing like unpaid actors in a reality show called Please Approve of Me. Different personality at work. Different personality online. Different personalities around rich people. Different personality around attractive people. At this point, even their real personality is confused. Some people change personalities depending on who enters the room. Elegant people? Same energy everywhere. Because real confidence is consistency. Elegant people don't suddenly start using fake accents around successful people. They don't pretend to love wine after one sip that tasted like expired sadness. And they definitely don't force themselves into conversations just to look important. But modern society rewards this behavior constantly. Now, everybody is chasing approval like it's oxygen. People post pictures online and then spend 6 hours checking who liked it. No likes in 10 minutes? Suddenly, the photo gets deleted like classified government evidence. And over-explaining? That's another modern disaster. Some people explain themselves so much that it sounds like they're being interrogated by detectives. Sorry I replied late. I was busy. Then my phone died. Then I slept. Then my cousin called. Then traffic. Relax. It's a message, not a courtroom trial. Elegant people understand something powerful. The more desperate you are for approval, the easier it becomes for people to control your emotions. That's why elegant people stop begging to be understood by people committed to misunderstanding them. They stop shrinking themselves to fit into rooms that were never meant for them. They stop performing online for strangers, eating snacks in bed, judging people they've never met. And the moment you stop needing everyone to like you, your entire presence changes. You become calmer. It's more attractive, more powerful without trying. The next thing elegant people ignore is even more dangerous, because modern society rewards it constantly. Everything today feels like an emergency. Reply now, decide now, react now, panic now. Modern life acts like if you don't answer a text message within 4 minutes, the government will collapse. Some people see typing, disappear, and suddenly start preparing emotionally for heartbreak, betrayal, and a Netflix revenge documentary. Relax. Maybe the person just got distracted making noodles. But panic culture is everywhere now. People react first and think later. That's why half the internet wakes up every morning apologizing for something they posted emotionally at 2 a.m. while fighting invisible enemies in their imagination. Elegant people don't move like that. They pause. And honestly, that pause alone saves them from 90% of unnecessary drama, because emotionally impulsive people treat every inconvenience like a natural disaster. One delayed reply, something feels off. One short text, we need to talk. One unfollow, suddenly, they're conducting FBI level investigations with screenshots, zoom-ins, timestamps, and spiritual interpretive. Elegant people are peacefully drinking water and minding their business like emotionally retired billionaires. Because elegant people understand something powerful. Urgent emotions usually create expensive mistakes. The angry message, the impulsive decision, the dramatic reaction. The public meltdown seemed like a good idea for exactly 7 seconds. And honestly, calm people age better. Stress is exhausting. Some people are only 24 years old, but emotionally, they've survived 3 wars, 4 betrayals, and a season finale. Elegant people protect their nervous system. They don't let temporary emotions control permanent decisions. They don't rush conversations. And they definitely don't argue while emotionally overheating like broken Wi-Fi routers. Because maturity is realizing everything does not require immediate access to your emotions. Sometimes, the most elegant response is silence, sleep, and replying tomorrow. But nothing exposes insecurity faster than the third thing. Some people don't actually live their life anymore. They perform it. This is where constant flexing takes over. Everything becomes content. Every meal becomes a photo shoot. Every outing becomes a documentary. Every glass of juice suddenly needs cinematic lighting and a motivational caption like, "Grateful for life," even though it's just orange juice and vibes. And let's be honest, some people don't enjoy dinner until Instagram approves it first. Imagine sitting at a restaurant, food getting cold, and someone is over there rotating the plate like they're shooting a Netflix cooking trailer. Wait, no, the angle is not giving elegance. Bro, it's rice. Relax. But this is what happens when validation becomes the goal. Life stops being lived and starts being staged. Elegant people don't move like that. They don't announce every step like they're running a government press conference. They don't post every achievement like they need applause after breathing. Because real success doesn't scream, it settles. Honestly, the loudest people online are often not even living the life they're showing. They're just editing it very aggressively. Elegant people understand something different. Privacy is power. They move quietly. They build quietly. They win quietly. Not everything needs a caption. Not everything needs witnesses. Not everything needs applause from people who weren't there when you were struggling. Because the more you expose your life for validation, the more fragile your peace becomes. And here's the truth nobody wants to admit. When your happiness depends on being seen, you stop enjoying your life in private. Real elegance is comfortable being unseen. No performance. No announcer is moment. There is no pressure to prove anything. Just quiet confidence that doesn't need external approval to feel real. And now, the shift gets deeper. Because the next thing elegant people ignore quietly destroys millions of people emotionally. Disrespect rarely shows up loudly. First, it usually enters politely. A small comment. A subtle joke at your expense. I was just joking after saying something clearly disrespectful. And most people ignore it the first time, then act surprised when it becomes a pattern. This is where elegant people are completely different. They notice it early. Because subtle disrespect is like a warning light on the dashboard. Most people cover it with tape and hope the engine fixes itself. And then comes emotional bargaining. People start negotiating their own dignity like it's a marketplace sale. It's okay. Maybe they didn't mean it like that. I should be understanding. Maybe I'm overreacting. No, you're just underreacting to something you already felt. And here's the funny part. Some people write 14-paragraph emotional essays trying to convince disrespectful people to develop empathy suddenly. They explain, justify, re-explain, re-feel, re-suffer, like they're submitting a thesis titled, "Why You Should Treat Me Better." A case study in emotional exhaustion. Elegant people don't do that. They don't repeatedly explain their value to people committed to misunderstanding them, because at some point, explanation stops being communication and becomes self-abandonment. Instead, elegant people do something most people underestimate. They observe once. They adjust quietly. They distance themselves calmly. No drama, no announcement, no emotional press release, just silence and distance. And strangely enough, that silence says everything the paragraphs were trying to prove. Because the strongest response is often silence and distance. It doesn't argue. It doesn't beg. It doesn't negotiate. It just removes access. And that's where respect either shows up or disappears completely. But here's the twist. The fifth one might be the hardest for most people because it's something they do every single day without realizing it. Comparison is one of the fastest ways to destroy your peace without leaving your bed. Social media made it worse. Now, people wake up every morning, grab their phones, and immediately start comparing their entire life to someone named Luxuriking 47 standing beside a rented Lamborghini. 5 minutes later, they suddenly feel behind in life. Meanwhile, the guy in the picture is financially surviving on instant noodles and motivational quotes. But comparison is addictive. People compare money, looks, relationships, vacations, followers, even happiness. Somebody gets engaged online, and suddenly, people who were peaceful 2 minutes ago are now staring at the ceiling, wondering if love personally rejected them. Relax. You just saw one filtered photo and background music. And competing timelines? That's another modern disaster. People panic because someone else bought a house at 24, got married at 27, started a business at 21, or drinks coffee in expensive hotels while pretending to answer emails nobody sent. Elegant people don't live like that. They understand something mature. Everybody posts highlights. Nobody uploads. Confusion. No one posts. Today, cried in my car eating chips while avoiding responsibilities. No, suddenly, everybody online is a billionaire philosopher doing skincare routines in Dubai. Elegant people stay detached from trends. They focus inward, build quietly, improve privately, because constantly watching other people eventually turns your own life into something you stop appreciating. And honestly, comparison is the fastest way to become emotionally exhausted by people who aren't even thinking about you. That line alone changes everything. While some people are busy competing with strangers online, elegant people are protecting their peace, growing slowly, and minding their own timeline. No panic, no race, no emotional competition. And the crazy part, that quiet focus usually takes them further anyway. But the sixth thing, this one separates emotionally disciplined people from everybody else. Some people treat every disagreement like the final battle in an action movie. They must win, must respond, must defend themselves immediately like their entire bloodline is depending on the comment section. And honestly, the internet made this behavior even worse. Now, people argue online with strangers they would never recognize in real life. Full emotional warfare over somebody named AlphaWolf472, using a cartoon profile picture and typing in all caps at 3 a.m. while eating cereal. Elegant people don't move like that, because mature people understand something powerful. Not every misunderstanding deserves a correction. That line alone saves people years of stress. Some people fight in comment sections like they're defending a national treasure. Paragraph after paragraph, screenshot after screenshot, voice notes, evidence, emotional damage. Meanwhile, the other person is casually replying with, "Lol." Imagine losing your peace over somebody whose profile picture is a motorcycle. Elegant people know when silence is smarter, because every argument has a hidden cost. Your energy, your mood, your peace of mind. Honestly, ego is expensive. That desperate need to get the last word? Dangerous. Some people would rather destroy relationships, ruin dinners, increase their blood pressure, and emotionally combust before saying, "You know what? this conversation is pointless. Elegant people don't argue for validation. They don't constantly defend themselves to people committed to misunderstanding them. Because at a certain level of maturity, peace becomes more important than being right. And strangely enough, silence often frustrates people more than arguments ever could. Because silence is confidence. Silence is discipline. Silence is emotional control. Not every opinion deserves your attention. Not every accusation deserves your energy. And not every ignorant comment deserves a TED Talk response. Sometimes, the most elegant thing you can do is close the app, drink water, and continue living your life peacefully while somebody else argues alone with the air. And honestly, the final one is probably the most important of all. Most people are emotionally controlled by temporary noise, gossip, trends, public opinion, internet drama that disappears faster than vegetables in a fast food restaurant. One viral topic appears, and suddenly, everybody becomes a professional expert overnight. Yesterday, they were giving relationship advice. Today, they're financial analysts. Tomorrow, they'll probably be spiritual monks selling productivity courses from a rented apartment. Elegant people don't get emotionally kidnapped by every trend. Because they understand something mature, most noise expires quickly. The scandal people are obsessing over today, forgotten next week. The opinions people panic about online, half of those people are typing aggressively while wearing pajamas and arguing beside unfinished laundry. Honestly, public opinion changes every 5 minutes. One day, the internet loves you. The next day, they cancel you because you breathed incorrectly in a 7-second clip. Elegant people don't build their identity around unstable applause. They think long-term. While everybody else is emotionally sprinting from trend to trend like confused contestants in a game show, elegant people stay calm, stable, grounded, unshaken. Because emotionally disciplined people understand, if strangers can control your emotions, they can control your life. And gossip? That's another trap. Some people survive entirely on discussing people who don't even know they exist. Full investigative journalism over celebrities, neighbors, exes, co-workers. Meanwhile, their own life is buffering. Elegant people quietly step away from unnecessary noise. Not because they think they're superior, but because peace is too expensive to waste on temporary nonsense. And here's the truth that changes everything. Most people sacrifice peace trying to control how they're perceived. Elegant people protect peace by controlling themselves instead. That's the difference. Because true elegance was never about looking expensive. It was emotional discipline, self-control, calmness, knowing what deserves your energy, and what absolutely does not. And honestly, that mindset alone already makes someone rare today. Maybe that's why elegant people feel different. Not louder, not colder, not better than everybody, just calmer. Because they're not emotionally available for every distraction, every argument, every opinion, and every temporary emotion. Meanwhile, some people wake up every morning emotionally fighting for survival before brushing their teeth. Bad comment online, mood destroyed. Somebody looked at them strangely. Now, they're replaying the interaction for 6 business days. One unfollow. Suddenly they're investigating like detectives in a crime documentary called Who Hates Me and Why? Elegant people don't live like that. They protect their peace like it's a luxury item. Because honestly, it is. And the older you get, the more you realize something hilarious. Silence becomes attractive. Privacy becomes attractive. Canceling unnecessary plans becomes extremely attractive. At some point, happiness can stop looking like crowded parties and emotional chaos. Now, happiness looks like good sleep, low stress, clean clothes, a quiet room, and nobody disturbing your nervous system. That's maturity, because elegant people eventually understand something most people learn too late. Not every invitation deserves a yes. Not every opinion deserves attention. Not every problem deserves emotional participation. And honestly, half the drama people suffer from comes from giving access to people who should have stayed blocked emotionally and digitally. Elegant people, Stop trying to control how everybody sees them. That's exhausting. Instead, they focus on controlling themselves, their reactions, their emotions, their standards, their energy. That's the real luxury nobody talks about. And maybe that's why elegant people always seem peaceful in a world addicted to noise. True elegance was never about pretending to look rich. It was emotional discipline. And the older you get, the more luxurious peace becomes. Honestly, nothing looks more expensive than a calm mind nowadays. And honestly, if this mindset feels rare nowadays, that probably means you're starting to understand elegance differently already. Because real elegance was never about pretending to be important. It's not screaming for attention online. It's not acting unbothered while emotionally collapsing over a seen message at 1 a.m. And it's definitely not renting luxury cars for photos while your bank account is fighting for survival like a contestant on a reality show called Financial Hunger Games. Real elegance is emotional control. It's knowing when to stay quiet, when to walk away, when to stop explaining yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. Honestly, that mindset is becoming rare. Now, everybody's addicted to noise. Noise online, noise emotionally, noise mentally. People are exhausted because they're constantly available for drama, opinions, gossip, arguments, trends, and emotional chaos from strangers they would never invite into their house. Elegant people protect their peace differently. That's why they feel calmer, sharper. It's harder to manipulate. Because once you stop reacting to everything, life becomes lighter. And maybe that's why mature people eventually disappear quietly. Not because they hate people. They're just tired of nonsense. At some point, projecting, can your peace become more exciting than proving yourself? Honestly, adulthood is realizing a canceled plan can feel better than a vacation. A quiet room feels luxurious, and a drama-free life starts feeling richer than attention. So, if you enjoyed this video, subscribe to the Elegance Standard for more timeless psychology, discipline, emotional intelligence, and elegant living. Because in a world addicted to chaos, calm people stand out naturally. And if this video made you laugh while also making you rethink your entire nervous system, then congratulations, you're already evolving beyond the noise.